Hello, my wonderful Toastmaster friends and most welcome guests.
Hello, good morning.
I want to wish all of you a happy and joyous good morning. And I hope that all of you are feeling at least as good as I am today, hopefully better. I also hope that what I'm about to say to you, you will find hard to believe. Here it is. I have never been accused of smiling too much. No one has ever said about me, why is he always smiling? Why does George always look so happy? It's true. I haven't been a very happy person for most of my life. But my friends, I'm very happy to report that right now I am a changed person. I feel it. I know it. And I can see it. I've become a more positive, a more caring, and a happier person. How have I done this? One simple act. One simple gesture. Can anybody guess what it is?
Smiling.
Smiling. But all of that is not. As a child, I didn't have a lot of friends. My mother told me that when I played in the park with my toys by myself, as soon as another child came up to me and asked me to play, I would simply get up, pick up my toys, walk over to my mom and say, "Can we go home now?" This type of behavior continued for me throughout most of my life. And because I like to keep to myself, I knew that if I smiled at people, they were encouraged to come up to me. And I didn't like it. So as a result of this, my outward appearance was always serious, not smiling. Later on in life, that seemed to work against me in terms of my personal development and in terms of my overall unhappiness. I was always focused on the negative. I always saw the glass half empty, complaining all the time. The final trigger, that switch that got me to change, happened 2 years ago. I found myself sitting in my boss's office, complaining about my coworkers, complaining about not being treated fairly, complaining about not getting a good raise. I asked my boss if I could be transferred out of his department because I was so unhappy. He said, fine. But first he wanted me to consider that maybe my problem was myself. Maybe the cause of my unhappiness at work was my poor attitude. And I thought about it, and I knew he was right. He also asked me to read a book called Fish. And this is a book about bad work environments that are easily fixed simply by changing the attitude of the workers. In the book it says that every day we all have a choice to make. We have a choice to make on how we're going to face our day. We can either choose to frown or we can choose to smile. And it sounds so simple, but it's true. It's our choice to smile always. And it's also good for you. The benefits of smiling have been thoroughly researched. You do a Google search on it and you'll find a bunch of information on how good it is for you to smile. Here's one. The British Dental Health Foundation found in a study that one smile provides you the same brain and heart stimulation as eating 2,000 chocolate bars. Wow! Right? And we all love chocolate, don't we? Smiling also enhances you because it enhances others. I heard a comedian once say that people can be like fountains or they can be like drains. A fountain provides water. And water is a life-giving substance. It gives us energy. Without water, we cannot live. If you're a fountain, you can provide energy to others when they come in contact. Simple. How do you do that? Well, you don't do it by spraying them with a water hose. No, it's simple. You do it by smiling at them, by being positive, by being happy to see them. Drains, on the other hand, empty. They remove water. It's kind of like people that complain a lot. When you get near them, they drain you. They take away your energy. They empty. Well, my friends, the simple solution is be a fountain to them. Fill them up with your life water. Because eventually, they will become less like drains and more like fountains. And they will return that life energy in the form of positive energy to those that come in contact with them and to you. It's kind of like walking into a party with people that are talking and laughing and having a good time. And maybe you don't know any of them. But then all of a sudden, one of them calls out to you, "Hey Tia, come on over." And then they tell you a funny story about you. And now all of a sudden, you're part of the party. You're laughing and talking and having a good time. You still want more proof? Okay. This change in my attitude has deeply affected me to my core. For the past 20 years, I chose to give up contact with my father. We had a falling out 20 years ago that I never managed to forgive him for. But last month, I called him and we spoke. And this past week, he lives in Florida, and he visited New York. And we got together, we had a pleasant dinner, I met his new wife, and he met my wife. And I know it was a positive decision to see him, because I saw it in his face. I saw the joy he had in his eyes when he saw me. This decision has improved my life so much, because I found that by letting go of the anger and resentment that I had for him, I was able to move forward in a positive way. So my friends, I hope that you can benefit in some small way from what I have shared with you today. As always, I thank you for your kind attention and support. This is my life partner, and I will always be smiling, not only because I want to, but because I need to. Madam Toastmaster.